And 3, 2, 1. Here we are. Improve with Joe. Thank you everyone for joining. This is the introductory podcast video of the subsidiary of YouTube and Instagram's Improve With Me's channel. Threw a lot of words there, kind of nervous, but it's the first podcast and that's okay. Just wanted to do an introductory video to get things set up correctly, to adjust audio. I'm still figuring out the microphone. You can see in the video that it's right next to my face. Hopefully in the audio it sounds okay. I'm trying to enunciate and fully explain the vernacular that I'm speaking. And that's one thing to add. There will be a lot of voices in this podcast. I like to make different voices in different times. I guess I want to be an actor in the future. But yeah, this is Improve with Joe. It's going to be my train of thought. It's going to be my perspective on the world. It's going to be opinions about what's going on, about myself. Since the title is Improve with Joe, it implies the improvement of Joe. So, I recognize that I'm improving in a lot of ways, or rather trying to. I think that's the important part, is that we're all at the end of the day, trying to improve in some way. Some people need to improve in their social skills, myself included. Some people need to improve in the physical aspect of their life, myself included. Some people need to improve on just their emotional understanding of themselves and what's going on around them and what the world is doing and how it affects other people. I mean, that's one thing from the lesson from this weekend for me, is to try to think more and be more empathetic about what other people's lives are. And that's just, long story, get into that in a future podcast. But yeah, so just wanted to bring everyone on to the podcast, do a good introductory, go through a couple main points. I'm going to try to not do a lot of editing for this, maybe some super spectacular effects in the future. But for now, I'm going to start off with pure, raw content of what I believe and what I like to speak. And as a good friend told me the other day, not everyone likes to hear you talk, Joe. It's kind of harsh, but the fact is that's true. I speak my mind in a lot of ways. I unfortunately grew up with very little tact, and I've been trying to improve on that. But I usually speak my mind, and after coming to a realization, coming to a belief, I am happy to express my opinion to other people about that belief. And I think I wish more people were. I also wish I was more tactful about how I do that. So that's something I'm trying to improve on. But yeah, so that's kind of what this podcast is going to be about. What's going on with the world, what's going on with myself. Generally, it's going to involve improvement in some way, shape, or form, which is, I think it's incredible. I love it. And I hope it inspires you to improve and try to get better in your own way, whether or not it's something that I've been talking about or something that you've been thinking about that relates. If you want to share it, comment. We're going to really, really try to make an improvement sense of community, whether or not that's with a specific website, whether or not it's just with interactions on YouTube or blog or podcast or whatever it is. Eventual goal down the line is public speaking and eventually politician, and get involved in the community and help back that way. But this is going to be my way to have a conversation with not only myself, but everyone else in the world, to introduce myself, to say, hey, I am Joe Peluso and this is Improve With Me, and I want you to join me on this journey of improving. Because I think at the end of the day, that's what keeps me going more than anything. Not only that I can improve myself, but that in some way I can help others and inspire others and help them aspire to be better too. Because at the end of the day, I will say that a lot, at the end of the day, we all need to improve, and our society needs to improve, our interpersonal relationships need to improve, our emotional understanding, emotional intelligence needs to improve, how we interact with other people. I mean, that's such a big thing, especially in today's society. And so that's really what I want to go about and do this introduction for, as I've rambled for the past 5 minutes now. But getting into an actual topic, I'd like to introduce the book that I'm going to be reading and hopefully inspiring anyone else to read. I'll put a link to it in the comment, or I'll put a link in the description. But the title of the book is Spark. It is The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain. This book was recommended by a good friend of mine, Nick, and already in the first 2 chapters, it's really been an exciting read, and really learned a lot. So I'll just go over a few key points that I've learned from it so far. Sorry, Mike. So yeah, in the book, basically it's talking about how people who exercise and have physical movement and activity experience different reactions in their brain. Literally, the neurotransmitters that are in your brain that are responsible for every tiny little interaction between synapse to neuron to synapse and throughout that axial chain, I believe that's what it's called, it's responsible. I mean, neurotransmitters play a part in that. Neurotransmitters like, let's see, the basic ones of finding it in my notes. Serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, and then there's other ones that are involved called GABA aminobutyric acid, and glutamate. So there's 5 that they're talking about at the start, about how basically when you exercise, you warm up these neural pathways in your brain, and that makes you more receptive, more capable, more in tune with talking about certain things or experiencing certain things or learning certain things. And for me, that's just amazing. The fact that you can have a benefit of working out or being active and being physical and having the physical and biological benefits from that, let alone do you have that, but you have the secondary and probably more important effect that it can make you learn better. It can make you talk with someone better. It can make you experience your life in a generally better way. And that's just incredibly inspiring to me, exciting, just mind-blowing kind of stuff. So yeah, that was just the basics of what I wanted to say. Once again, the book is Spark, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise in the Brain. I'll be talking more about this the next 2-3 podcasts. If you want to be a part of it, want to be a part of the conversation and read the book, highly recommend it. I cannot give you a code, but if you are really interested and can't buy it yourself, I will buy it for you. And I thank you for joining in on the first introductory podcast of Improve with Joe. Once again, my name is Joseph Peluso. This is Improve with Joe. And thank you for joining me on the journey. And I truly hope that any part of this helped make your day better, helped inspire you, or even just gave you a laugh because you didn't like it. We'll see. And that wraps it up. Thank you for joining me. And that was the first episode of Improve with Joe.